Hey there, it's Courtney with RCK Livestock, where we document our journey to self-sustainability through our garden and our livestock. Today I just wanted to show you quickly how I feed our eggshells back to our chickens. It's good for the calcium intake, and I don't have to buy oyster shells for them instead. That's kind of the alternative, but you also don't want to feed the eggshells raw right back to them, or they'll get a taste of the egg and realize that they're eating eggs and start becoming egg eaters, which obviously you don't want if you're trying to eat your eggs. So I'm going to flip you around, show you what I do. Let's get going. This is going to be a quick one because it really is so simple. So what I do is on a night that I bake something on our baking stone, I just let it sit overnight so then I could do this the next morning. So this is a dirty baking stone because it doesn't make sense for me to use a clean baking stone on this. Throughout the week, my husband fills up this little container with eggshells. He has eggs every morning, so we just save those. What I do is literally dump them on. I kind of like to separate them out a little bit just so then it makes it a little bit easier for when I break them up in a little bit. So that's good enough for me. They're just all set out. I turn on the oven to bake, start, and then I just put the eggs right into the oven. I don't wait for it to preheat because all we're trying to do is heat up the eggs. The eggs will probably be in there for about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Not very long because all I did was just set it to the 350 degrees. A lot of people like to get really technical about it and do like 200 degrees for 20 minutes or, you know, a very specific time. I just want the eggs kind of cooked and to be able to crunch them up easily. So when they're all finished, I'll bring you back. And we're back about 20 minutes later. Well, these were in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then I let them cool down so that I can handle them for the next step. So what I do, I have this jar that I just keep the eggs in for storage. That's another perk of baking the eggs is that they don't, you know, start getting that rotten egg smell. So that's another plus. Please excuse the washer and dryer noise. I'm living my life. So the next step is to crush these up into small pieces. So typically I will stack these up into a nice little, you know, pile, and then I just start crushing them. This can hurt your hands, so you could wear gloves if you wanted to. I don't really mind. Another option, what I used to do is run it through a coffee grinder, but I just got lazy and decided just to crush them with my hands. So we'll just crush them up. And I like to get them into a pile so that I'm working with everything fairly closely. And all of these eggs are the eggs that our chickens laid. So I'll be back when they're all crushed up and ready to get put in the jar. We've got them all crushed up. This is kind of the consistency that I usually look for. There are a few bigger chunks, but those just have like, you know, kind of egg white type pieces that are just going to stay that way. A few of those, the chickens, it doesn't really bother them as far as, you know, the fear of becoming egg eaters. So yeah, this is the consistency I get. And then we'll go ahead and transfer them to the jar. And I put the jar on the sheet so that I don't have to worry about transferring my mess onto the counter. And that's the eggs we got. It took, you know, just a few days to get that bunch of eggs, and then I'll go out later and throw them to the chickens, and that's their calcium. So I know that was a quick little video, but I feel like it's a crucial part of chicken feeding to make sure you maintain their calcium. So that's why I gave that information. This has worked for us for about a year now, and it's worked just fine for them. So hopefully it works well for you. Let me know in the description box if you do anything different and how it works for you. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep following what we do here. Like the video if you like the advice I gave, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.